appreciate your taking time out from your busy schedules to come and visit with us. But anyway, it's good to have you. Great to see all of you.
Okay. Who's got the first?
Oh, okay, so we're starting. How did scouting start in Mooresville?
How did Scouting in Moore started in Moore?
Yes.
It was actually Statesville, and the Rotary Club started the troop, and Zeb Turling was the first scoutmaster. And they operated scouting in Mooresville for a number of years.
What was scouting like when you were a scout?
Well, scouts were very much like it is today. I mean, it was every scout that joined was getting into something new and different. It's the things he likes to do. Camping, outdoor activity is pretty attractive to all young fellows.
What were some of the things that you liked to do, like while you were in Scouts?
Some things I like to do. Oh well, I like the outdoors too. I liked camping and swimming and so forth. But I became a much better swimmer when I was in Scouts, which I didn't have an opportunity before I was a Scout.
What or who inspired you to join Scouts? And when you joined, what were your first thoughts?
Well, my father was very pro scouting. My older brother was already a scout, and of course I was looking forward to joining. So I was ready and willing and able and anxious to join. And I joined and I started off doing the things that you do when you go join Scouts.
How has Scouts impacted your life and your decisions in the future?
Scouting has made me a much better person. It's helped me to be decisive. It's given me leadership direction, leadership skills, and that's what Scouting does for a boy. When he joins Scouts, he gets up in front of the group. He conducts his business in a very simple way, but the next time he does much better. And each time he gets on his feet, starts talking, he learns to become a leader, just naturally.
If you could change something about scouting, what would you change?
I don't know whether I'd change anything about scouting or not. It's a great program, and always has been and always will be, I guess.
Who was your Scoutmaster, and how has he impacted your life?
Well, the first Scoutmaster was Sam Johnson, and actually he wasn't there that long, and then Don Harris took over from there, and he was Scoutmaster for quite a while. The Rotary Club provided leadership for that Scout troop. And then we had another troop in town, and the Kiwanis Club gave impetus and promoted that troop.
Do you think it was harder to get the rank of Eagle now or back when you were a scout?
I think it's probably about equal. I think the difference is, regardless now or then, I think you've got to be motivated, and you have to have the encouragement of your parents and your friends and so forth, because it takes a lot of time to do these badges and so forth that you need. But of course you learn everything by doing, you learn by doing. So it's a great program.
How did you become a leader in Scouts, and why did you become a leader?
Well, it was just kind of natural for me just to move into leadership position, because I was helping to do things myself, and I was encouraged to be a patrol leader and so forth, and I welcomed the chance to do it. So it was a good practice that I got started.
Have you ever made any important decisions that Scouting influenced your answer in a positive way?
I think scouting makes you think about things, and you think about results of of your actions, and I think that's one thing the scouting does for you. It matures you. It makes you a lot more discernible. You know more about things, and you're willing to do a lot more when you learn what you're doing.
How did scouting influence your role in the community?
Has scouting influenced my role in the community? It sure has, because it's promoted me into a lot of things, doing things that need to be done, and that's one thing you learn about scouting, is to help others at all times. And there's a need out there sometimes that you may not recognize it, but there's always a need for outside help.
So you went to the first National Camporee?
I attended the first National Camporee in 1935. Of course, it was a great disappointment because it was canceled at the last minute because of polio. You know, every summer we had an outbreak of polio in this area for years, and that was just part of life. In the summertime, we just closed down because of polio. And I'm a Rotarian, and of course that's the one thing that we've been working on for years now, is to eradicate polio in the world. And that's a great service to humanity. And it's the Western Hemisphere is polio free, and most of the Eastern Hemisphere, there are only several nations now that have not been declared polio free.
Well, since the National Jamboree, it was delayed. What year did they finally do it, and then what was your favorite part?
It was postponed 2 years. It was held in 1937, and it went off that time, and it was a great program. It was enjoyable. It was very rewarding. You know, we got to see all of Washington D.C., the Capitol, and of course the Library of Congress, the Smithsonian, and there's so much to see in Washington D.C. That's a great city for learning about our nation.
What was one of the most challenging merit badges that you did?
Probably the most challenging merit badge I had was life-saving. I just wasn't that strong a swimmer. When I joined Scouts, we didn't have a pool in town, and we didn't have much chance to swim. So going to camp was a real thrill, because we got to swim a lot. And but that was probably the most challenging part of my scouting experience.
What was the funnest merit badge?
Funnest wood carving. That was my first one too.
Why did you enjoy wood carving so much?
I don't know. I just like whittling, I guess. If you got regular wood carving tools, it's interesting what you can do, and ornate work in wood is beautiful.
What were some of the other activities that you did at Camp Bud Shield, other than wood carving or swimming?
Well, you make baskets, you make stools. You could do any merit badge work up there, but bow making, archery, those things were always easy at camp because they had the facilities and the equipment, and always good instructors there.
I think that's just about all the questions we have.
Okay, well thank you. I've enjoyed chatting with you.
And thanks for having us and letting us ask you questions about scouting.
Pardon?
Thanks for letting us ask you questions about scouting.
Glad to. This is my Eagle Award when I was 16 years old. And I really enjoyed getting this.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is
always
the
down.
Silver Beaver
Yeah.
Award that's given to scouters and Piedmont Council who've done a lot of community work. Years of community service.
Yep.
These are the National Jamboree patches. The one for 1935, which one of the national companies provided all those for us. It wasn't held until 1937. This is the patch for 1937. And we had extras for both those years.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
These are my Boy Scout extras from my cap, for my Scout uniform. This is my merit badge sash. I got a few merit badges, and I got four palms, eagle palms for 5 months service, 6 months service, and 5 additional merit badges. This was a joy of mine of looming this beaded belt. I had a loom and then I stitched this to the belt. This is the skirt of my Jamboree Scout uniform with the patch on the pocket. This is a sky view of the location of the encampments of our Boy Scout Jamboree. Our first national jamboree in 1937 in Washington, D.C.
Hold on, Mr. Mack, I'm gonna hold each of these for Andy to get a good picture of these.
That's Haynes Point of Washington, D.C.
Okay. Okay. She brought the scanner. Okay. Okay.
This is our Piedmont Council contingent that went to Washington in 1937.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You'll have to. And while we were there, this was President Franklin Roosevelt came by in a parade, and this is James E. West, the Chief Scout when I was a Boy Scout.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let me have that one.
Okay.
This is my diary from the Jamboree. The date was June 26th to July the 9th. That one. This is a picture of me at Mount Vernon.
July 1937.
This is a picture of our patrol at the Jamboree. There are 2 other mournful boys there, Asa McNeely and Robert Benfield.
Okay.
I recognize Asa Manili. His grandson Emery is one in the troop with these same boys.
Okay.
And this is my first scout troop. That's a gas flash camera picture.
That's why the eyes are so big.
Yeah, that's why the eyes are all expanded. I'm the lower right-hand corner.
And that would be your brother Ed up there.
Yeah.
And who are some of the other scouts in here?
Well, they're Paul Allison and Bill
Yeah.
Norman, John Young Templeton, John McClellan. Oh, let me see.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Bus Mayhew, John Young Templeton, Johnny Miller, and Joel and John McConnell.
Well, I bet
And that's it.
Thank you.